What's the volume like on something like that?
Pretty high. And it's not excessively high because I like volume. It's a byproduct of the way I train and what I feel is required to stimulate my body to achieve the results I want. So the volume is obviously going to be highest on a leg day because you've got much more muscle to work with. You're doing quads and hams together versus, for example, if I'm just doing chest and biceps, that's going to be a shorter workout with less volume. But generally speaking, like you say, for legs and back, I'm always incorporating these types of like multi-joint movements, and they require a lot of warming up. It could take me 45 minutes just to get through the deadlifts, but really within that, there's only 2 or 3 working sets. But all the work prior to that is obviously priming me for that. Legs, it's the same, squatting and leg pressing takes a long time because you're using a lot of weight, 2 to 2.5 hours on legs. There's nothing superfluous in that workout. It's just what I need to do to get the job done. Could I get it done in less time with less volume? Well, I can't say because I've never tried it. Possibly, like I say, chest, much smaller body part. You can warm up quicker, you fatigue the muscle quicker. That'll be an hour and a half for chest and biceps together, which is probably still quite a lot for some people. Some people might be in and out in 45 minutes to an hour. But the initial goal of training is to enjoy it. So whatever you enjoy, you'll adhere to. Whatever you adhere to, you'll improve with.
Yeah, that makes sense. So this is, of course, I've talked to so many different high-level professional natural bodybuilders. And yeah, the training style varies tremendously amongst volume, frequency, intensity. So given the nature of how you're doing things, because a typical leg day will last you 2.5 hours, back similar, like you mentioned, chest an hour to an hour and a half. But would you say a lot of those sets are maybe a bit further from failure given how much volume you have to do, or are you still pushing the intensity quite high? How does that look for you?
Yeah, I mean, the intensity, every work set for each exercise, whether it be deadlift, squats, bench press, this sort of thing, I'll probably only do 2 actual working sets to failure. Sets that I would consider, these are the working sets. This is like the meat and bones of the workout. But like I said, to get to that, particularly on the big movements like deadlifts, it might require 8, 9, 10 sets to warm me up to get to that point. So like I say, an 18-year-old could probably get to their max weight in 4 or 5 sets and their body would be happy with that. But I've got a few more miles on the clock now. I'm, a bit more mature. That muscle takes a little bit longer to warm up. I guess I do more warm-up type sets rather than work sets compared to others. But like I say, 1 or 2, probably 2 hard working sets on each exercise. And it takes a long time. Isolation movements, you can fire through that very quickly. That's a different story.
You mentioned the bro splits. I want to latch onto that for a second. Was that your first bodybuilding routine you ever, and again, you didn't consider it bodybuilding, but would you say your first routine you kind of fell upon was the bro split?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'd learned that you just, as a bodybuilder, you train less than what I expected. Because when you first get into the sport, you think these guys must train 8 hours a day, all this sort of thing. But no,